What's going on, everybody? It is DJ, and today you can see we finally have the crazy new holy angelic looking set for the Crusader. Now, yikes, that is not what I wanted to do. I want to change the difficulty because I had to create a new Crusader just to kind of see how things worked. So everybody has looked up, it is sort of kind of the shotgun E build with the Heaven's Fury. Now real quickly before we get into that, I had a couple of questions. One being, where in the heck did I get this sword? It was actually on my Facebook, so I figured I would just address it in the video in hopes that the persons, said people, actually watch the video. So it is two weapons in one. It is the Grandfather and the Scourge, or Grandfather, Godfather, I think it's the Grandfather, yeah, it's the Grandfather. It's two in one to kind of make it look a bit more like a really badass sword. Now the wings, of course, are the angelic wings. I think they're called Wings of Valor on this game. There you go. In the pet is the Blaine's Bear, all the way there at the bottom. Now, real quickly, I do plan on changing this ring here. It's not the one that I necessarily wanted. It is helpful, but not the one I wanted. So quickly, this is, I always forget how to say it, but I'm gonna call it the Aegis of Valor, just because that's how I feel like saying it. So the rundown, basically you use the Fists of Heavens and Heaven's Fury together. So like you can go ahead and read these on your own time. I'm not going to explain that, but that is why I have Heaven's Fury as well as Fist of the Heavens. Now I'm going to allow you guys to quickly go through the skills, and I'll give you maybe like a second or two to kind of pause in between each skill, just so you can get down what I have. But it's Heaven's Fury and Fires of Heaven. This is the shotgun E thing that everybody likes to use. Now you can see my Wrath going down. Now I have the Akarat's Awakening on, so it kind of helps me a little bit in that scenario. However, you're not going to be going through a rift spamming this all the time, because you will, well, you'll be wanting to move around, right? So you're not going to be standing there doing this. That's going to take you, that's going to be a long rift. Now, the Fist of the Heavens also uses some resource. It's not as much, but it is very beneficial. You don't have to constantly be spamming it. As you can see, I'm using the version I have, which I'll show you, chains lightning between the bolts. So realistically, you don't really and it travels too. So when you're in a rift, if the enemy's far away, it'll travel to that enemy, not necessarily just be stuck right in front of your face. So it is a really nice skill. Definitely not something you're gonna be wanting to use if you like to spam and hold down all the buttons at the same time. This is not by any means the set for that. So we got Heaven's Fury. Next we have the Fist of the Heavens, and I am using the Fisher, which allows me to have lightning in between the little plots on the ground there. Next up we got Phalanx. This is just you know, kind of a filler skill, really. You can kind of change this to whatever you want, but I like having the little dudes following me around. It is pretty nice, especially since, you know, if you're playing by yourself, maybe you have feelings for your character, maybe, I don't know. You know, it's whatever. I mean, I don't want to leave this girl alone here. I mean, she's got a big sword and all, but you know, it gets lonely out there slaying demons. So next up we got the Steed Charge. This is another filler skill, really, just to kind of get you from place to place a lot faster, of course. So any of these, quite honestly, it doesn't really matter. I have this just so I can run into enemies and kill them a little bit faster. Laws of Hope. Now I have this just to kind of give me that damage resistance buff, as well as the Akarat's Champion does that too. You can see my shield in the middle there went up about double-ish. It is sort of kind of another filler skill, so you can really use any of the laws, completely up to you. But there's that. next up we have Akarat's Champion, which I would recommend using Embodiment of Power because it increases your Wrath regeneration, and since these two are very heavy on Wrath, unless you don't use shotgun and you want to use like these weird pulses, like the little rays that come down, it's completely up to you. I'm not a big fan of that because it's not that great in my opinion, but it is up to you. Or I would recommend using the Rally. So it really is up to you. Now actually I don't even think I need to use Embodiment of Power if I'm not mistaken. I forget which thing it is. It might not even be on this character. So oh wait, here it is. Here we go. So the weapon. Akarat's Champion gains the Prophet and Embodiment of Power. So realistically, Embodiment of Power doesn't even matter, and neither does what did it say? The Prophet, I believe it said. So we'll put Rally on. I'm pretty sure it said Prophet. I forget. I go through these items so much that I forget. Alright, so there you go. So Akarat's Champion, active, all that fun stuff, and we still have our cooldown, which is a plus. So I guess there's that. My bad on that part, but you know, whatever. So next up we got our passives. Heavenly Strength, highly recommended. We do have a two-handed weapon on. Next up we have the Finery, or Finry, however you want to say it. Just gives you that little extra strength, which is always helpful. Next up we got Holy Cause, increases your weapons damage by 10%, and since we are doing some holy type stuff, we do have the heal up to 1% of your total life. Now the next passive is kind of up to you. Now it is the Divine Fortress. Your armor is increased by the percent equal to your shield's block chance. Now the block chance is 20% on this shield, which isn't terrible. But like I said, this is kind of just a filler one here, but I figured let's put some more, we'll go ahead and put some more on there. Now I do always like to go back and forth between this passive here, but I'm not going to be relying on laws for too much, considering that it doesn't really help me much. So next up we have the powers. So I have Shard of Hate, the Nemesis Bracers, and the Avarice Band. Now the Avarice Band is not going to be really helpful in a Greater Rift, so if you want to go in a Greater Rift, you can change that if you want to. You can sort of say it's like a half sort of filler power. It'll be helpful in everything else though. Nemesis Bracers, very good for rifts because you can spawn champions, get those orbs to go through the rift faster. And the Shard of Hate is really because I have the electric version of the Fist of Heavens, and it's very helpful because it sends out that bit more electricity, as you can see. So instead of having them come from the sides, it also comes from in front of you, and you can just do this real quick. You can boom like that. Now real quick, I'll go through maybe like half of the rift or so, just to show you guys real quick some of the ways this can go. Now this is for the PlayStation. Now for those of you that have caught up with me, you will have known, or would have known, that I had to get a new PlayStation because it was dying. The old one, I had that very old, the very first generation of the PS4, and she finally died. She was given out, so I had to trade her in, and well, I didn't have the ability to get it, so I had to trade my Xbox. So for those of you on Xbox, I do apologize. I have the items on there still, it's just I don't have a way to give them. But maybe I'll get another one soon, but I do know the PS5 is coming out soon, so you know, it's kind of like I'm trying to, we're actually going through this fairly quickly. I am very surprised. Now as you can see, it is fairly quick. The set is pretty nice. I was never a fan of the shotgun type build, which is why it's not like complete, because I don't like looking up builds. I like to put things how I want them. So that is why it's not like it is shown online. So if that's what you're going for, by all means switch it yourself. But I'm not one for looking up the different builds because I like my own. So we're gonna kill him real quick. There is a book back there. I don't know if I can grab that without grabbing the things though, which I cannot. Alright, Death's Breath, all that fun stuff, cool, which we don't really need, but there's that. Alright guys, so anyways, thank you for watching, and in the comments now for every set, I'm gonna be posting a little Easter egg. This set was actually created from an Easter egg that I had placed in a video, and a couple of people found it, so I told them I would make the set itself. So there may or may not be. It's completely up to you to check, but if not, it'll be in the Facebook page. I will probably put up some polls, because this year I'm going to be, until the other Diablos come out for the phone and for the PC/systems, hopefully for the consoles, I will be making like a bunch of fun sets. Like, they're not going to be super high in damage or anything, but they're going to be interesting. Like I want one that's made strictly out of just a crap ton of armor, just to make it look goofy as all hell. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a bunch of sets that are just freaking random. Just boom, just really have no. They'll have like the set bonuses, but they won't have like crazy super duper stats. They're just gonna be made just to be hilarious. So anyways guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out.